Good morning. Got the Bobcat started this morning. We're gonna hop in that and go do some chores. So mom and dad took off on a little vacation. So the next 3 days this weekend, just gonna be me. So you guys get to ride along with me in the Bobcat. So we're going to start with these calves out in this north pen, and we're going to roll out 2 hay bales for them. occasionally Cole and I will, you know, from the house in the front yard, we'll hit golf balls because we're bored. And we're really good at golf, you know. No, not really, but found one. Sweet. Looks like a range ball. So we're going to switch into the bucket now and start feeding the ground hay to the calves that are in the feedlots, get their bunks full of ground hay. Okay, so we're gonna run out across the creek and drive through the cows, check on them. Then there's a water tank we've got out there that Dad said that he left running the other day, real slow, just to kind of melt the ice in there. So we're gonna go check on that water tank too, probably shut it off. So the cows look full, they look content. They don't have a ton of hay left, they've just got a little bit right here. But they look full and they're really content. They're not acting like they want to move or anything. So I'm gonna leave them in here for at least one more day. We've got 2 other pieces with hay bales set out that I can let them out into, but I'm gonna leave them out here for another day at least. It's supposed to be really nice today. All this snow should be melted, which we really don't have much anyways. But they should be fine for at least one more day out here. Then I'll let them into a new piece. But yeah, it's supposed to be like mid 50s today and then 60 degrees tomorrow. So in the last video where we left off, it was really warm. It has been pretty warm since then. We just had like 2 days where we got some cold weather and some snow. And we ended up with about 2 inches of snow a couple days ago, and a lot of it melted yesterday. And then the rest of it's probably for sure gonna melt today. There won't be much left after today. So here's this water tank that Dad had running out here. So it's running over, probably has been for a while, which that's not a huge deal. There's not a ton of water like it has been for a while, but we'll definitely get her shut off here. Looks like some of the ice melted out of it. Looks like most of the ice melted out of it. So this is the tank that earlier this winter, well I think it was fall, we come out here and we put bentonite in the middle of it to help seal it up again. So it's definitely holding water, which is good. So it's sealed up. We really don't use this tank a lot because the cows, I mean, we've got the creek that the cows can go water out of, so we don't use this tank a lot, but it is handy to have. And mainly in the summertime, you know, like May and then into June a little bit, we have cows at home just because we start calving in the beginning of May, so we've got cows around. But they still use the creek then. And then in the summertime, we really don't have much for cattle around the home place here. So water is not really a huge concern at home here, just because we don't have much for cattle around. So last video I mentioned that I got a sheep that's bagged up. That's this one right here. She's been bagged up for a week now, and still no babies. I don't know when they're coming, but I guess I will let you guys know when they do. How satisfying is that?
Is that heavy?
No. Sounds strong. So I'm gonna head down and take and put a new lick tub in for them calves in the south pen. The one that had in there is empty, so get a new one in there for them so they can enjoy that. So our fuel tanks here, they don't have the fancy, you know, sensor clicker on, clicker off thing, filler nozzle. So you just gotta jam it with a rock and listen to when it's full. So one nice thing about this new Bobcat is it's got a clear fuel tank in it, so you can watch the level of the fuel come up to where it's full. Our old Bobcat had the fuel fill was like right here on it, right above this tire. So you had to like watch the gauge and listen to make sure you weren't gonna overflow with fuel, which I had definitely done a couple times with that old Bobcat. But with this one, this clear fuel tank is really handy. So I thought I'd give you guys an update on what I'm working on here on the trailer. It's I got the other fender done, so both fenders are done. They both turned out pretty good. And then I went ahead and I got a new hitch and got it all welded on the front here. And now I'm doing the fun part, working on wiring. So that's kind of a, I don't know if all trailers are like, I really haven't wired that many trailers in my life, but this one, it's quite the deal. So they've got a bunch of these little connectors like this, and so it's like, you know, for one wire to go in and two wires to come out, and they're all just these little plug and play deals. And I don't really like those, and they're old, so I'm just cutting them out and replacing them. But there are so many of these, and I don't know if that's normal or not. So like, you know, this wire here, this is like the main wire that comes from the front, from your plug, comes to here. And then it's like this wire comes out of that from the plug, goes into one of them deals. It's missing one wire that I don't know where it goes. Maybe it wasn't supposed to have one. Then one wire comes out of it. Same deal here, another one. And then there was one here. There was one here. There was one here, here, and here. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, because I just cut this one off. Like, there's a ton of them. I don't know exactly why there was so many. Just because they're like, you know, the power comes into this one, the main power from the thing comes into this one, then but these wires need power too, so they run a jumper across to this one and that one and that one. Looks like I wired this trailer in the past sometime. I didn't, but that's what it sure looks like, because they're just wires everywhere. So it took me a while to kind of figure out what exactly was going on. And then I decided that I was just going to replace all of these little things just so that they were all hardwired, so I know that they should work, instead of trusting these little connections. So it's quite the deal. And then I've got, so it's got a running light way up there on the front. Then it's got a running light on the front of the fender. Then it's got the brake lights back here. So there's a wire that goes in to this box for the brake lights. Then it runs through a little tube all the way up to the front just for that running light on the front of the fender. Same thing on that side over there. So I really don't know. I'm just going through and making sure that all the connections are good and making sure that all the lights are wired up. And then we'll stuff the lights back in, because some of them we took out. So we'll stuff them back in, and I guess we'll just hope it works. So I found these little connectors here. So you can, basically, it's just a butt connector, that end is. And then also you can take and put a male end connector into this end, so you can connect 3 wires together. Kind of wish I would have had these yesterday, but I went and found them last night, so I was able to put one on anyways. But they're kind of a handy little deal. Here's what they are if you need something like that. Okay, we're gonna run out across the creek, check on the cows, see how they're doing, see if they need let into the next piece or not, if they need hay, or if they're still pretty content today. Go check on them and see. Okay, so I decided to let the cows down into the next piece. They didn't have much for hay left. They're full and content, which is good, but tomorrow there's like a red flag warning, so I didn't really want to be out here on the four-wheeler. It's probably not a big deal anyway, because we just had 2 inches of snow, so there's still mud. So I sure wouldn't think anybody would start a fire, but maybe that was more for the hills, I guess. But anyway, I didn't want to be out here tomorrow on a four-wheeler. They are out of hay. I'm not gonna call them over here. They'll find it themselves. It's not a big rush to get them in here and get them fed, so they'll be all right for a while. So after a long, hard-fought battle, I think Dad and I got the trailer lights somewhat working on this trailer. The only thing we don't have working is the running lights, which is not a big deal. It's just a wiring issue with the plug, I think. So there's no major issues with the wiring, so we could go ahead and put the deck on this now because we don't have to access those wires anymore. So last night, after we figured out all the wiring and stuff, we threw a little bit of paint on it because we thought we were going to paint it. And so I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but you can kind of see the old paint shining through. And it's not, you know, it would just maybe need a second coat, but there's actual divots, you know, because this looks like this here, where there's paint missing. So there's actual divots there and stuff, so it don't look the best. So I think we decided we're just gonna leave this trailer like it is. We're gonna try to get this paint off of here with the wire wheel. And then we might just put a clear coat on the trailer so that it doesn't rust. But then the fenders, I think we're just gonna tape them off and paint them black so that they won't rust. And then the rest of the trailer will just look like it is now. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this paint off of here so that we don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I got that white off of there pretty good. I think that'll be all right for now. It should wear off there. It's like really super thin in some places left on there, so it'll be fine now. But this side, we tried some black paint to see if that would hide that better, and it really didn't. So I'm gonna get that black paint off of there. And then I'm going to paint the fenders, and I decided I'm going to paint them black, and I think I'm going to paint this inside piece here too, just because it's got grind and weld marks on it as well. And then we can do the deck boards and get this thing out of here. Okay, I was able to get that black paint off of there. It's good as it's going to get anyways. So in case you're wondering, yes, we could go through with a grinder or something and take all the paint off it and start over again if we really wanted to repaint it. But it's honestly fine the way it is. We just initially thought about painting it because if we could have gotten a good, nice new coat of paint over what was already there, you know, our initial plan was we were just gonna kind of take off the loose paint and hopefully put a new coat on it, then it'd be fixed and it'd look a lot nicer. But we really didn't want to put a whole bunch of work into actually repainting it, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. It'll be just fine. We might do a clear coat, like I said, over it just to prevent rust, but we are going to repaint the fenders. And yeah, so I'm going to start working on that now. I'm going to get them all blown off, get all the dirt off of them and off of around them, and then get one coat of paint on them. So obviously, as you can tell, it's not a perfect paint job, but that's plumb fine. It's just a trailer that we use to haul our Bobcat is the main thing that we use it for. And we sure aren't taking it to no beauty contests. So it's plumb fine the way it is. And I might do a second coat of black depending on what it looks like when it dries here. And yeah, so we'll go from there. But now we can start putting the wood deck on and getting this trailer out of here, hopefully in a timely manner, because we've got some other stuff that we would like to work on before summertime gets here and grazing season gets here. We've got some mobile water trailer. I don't even know what you'd call it. Just kind of we want to build a trailer that'd be easy to pull through pastures, and with a mobile water tank on it that we can fill up and have a reservoir for our cattle, so we can hopefully get to some places that don't have much for water, but we hopefully will have that water reservoir and be able to graze some of them places that we usually don't get to graze much, a little better than we have in the past. So all right, fenders are completely painted, so those are done. I got 2 coats on them. I think I'm just gonna call it good. I mean, they looked pretty good after the first coat. There's just a couple little spots that I missed, so I just went over the whole thing again twice, so it should be really good now. So yeah, the next video, you guys will probably see us putting boards on this trailer and hopefully getting it out of here and pulling in a different project. Along with everything else that we got going on outside with the cattle. So I think that's just about gonna do it for this video. But thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all the support, all the likes, comments, subscriptions. If you're new here, remember to hit that subscribe button and the like button. Those 2 things help us out a lot. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.